Could I be a detective? Now, when I was younger, I wanted to be a footballer and I wanted to be an astronaut and all of those things. As I got a bit older, I decided, you know what? I want to go into the police and eventually become like a detective. That's when I went to Hull University to do criminology before dropping out. But today, we're going to find out whether I would have been good as a detective by trying to solve these murder mysteries. Now, this is a random channel called Brievashkov. Are these all going to be in Russian? Oh, no, okay. It's Cool Riddles is the channel. Never mind. Can I become a detective by solving this murder mystery? Yes, I have a little bit of a blocked nose, by the way. So if I say I'm fine, it's fine. A rich man was found murdered one morning. His wife immediately called the police. The police questioned the wife and staff and was given these alibis. The wife said she was reading a book. She got some dusty feet. The cook claimed he was cooking breakfast. That's a mad hairline. I don't trust anyone so far. His hands are huge. Like, look at the size of this hand. This hand is the size of his head. The maid claimed she was getting the mail. April 26, 2009. The gardener claimed he was planting seeds. Ooh. The butler claimed he was polishing the silver. After listening to those alibis, the police instantly arrested the murderer. Who did it and how did they know? Okay, let's chill for a sec. I want to check something. What day was April 6th, 26th, 2009? That's my brother's birthday, actually. Sunday! That's a Sunday. If I've banged this, it's the maid. You don't get mail on a Sunday. If this is right, I am instantly a detective. To solve this mystery, you must pay attention to everything you read and everything you saw in this video. I've already done that. You didn't need to pay attention to everything. You just need to pay attention to something. It felt weird. Can you solve this murder mystery? Yes. Wait, does it not give me the answer? This has to tell me the answer, surely. Does this actually not tell me the answer? I'm fuming. Wait, the correct answer. Oh! She claimed she was getting mail that day. Jeez, it's a Sunday. I am sick. Number 2, I'm gonna solve. Oh my god, never mind. A wealthy man lives alone in a small cottage. He can't buy love. Aww. Being partially handicapped, he had everything delivered to his cottage. The mailman was delivering a letter one Thursday when he noticed that the front door was ajar. Uh-oh. Through the opening, he could see the man's body lying in a pool of dried blood. Aw, you poor little rich man. When the police arrived, they surveyed the scene. Okay, on the porch were 2 bottles of milk, Monday's newspaper, a catalogue, flyers, and unopened mail. The milkman in it. The murderer was arrested on that same day. Who was he and how did the police know? Wait, that's the mailman on Thursday, Monday's newspaper. So, he was dead on Monday. Why is there only 2 bottles of milk? It's the milkman. There should have been more bottles of milk. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the milkman. It's always the milkman. Oh, here we go. Next murder mystery. It's what? No, answer. Here we go. The newspaper. No. Oh, I had the right idea, but I went for the wrong thing. The newspaper should have been every day, but there was 2 days missing. Oh. I'm an idiot. I'll never make it as a detective. You know what? It's fine. Every now and then, a murderer can just slip through the cracks. It's fine. All right, number 3. Oh, no. What is this? Why is he lying on the... What's he doing? Is he dead already? The dead body of Adrian was found at the bottom of a cliff. He was clothed in heavy hiking boots, mitts, several light jackets, and thick woolen trousers. James G. recounted. I have returned to camp early to make dinner for the hunting party when I saw Adrian and Lulo arguing. They had been dating for several years. It's because she looks like that. Her mouth is half her face. His head's tiny. What the hell? Her arms look like mine. What are these proportions? They had been dating for several years and frequently held heated discussions. I didn't want to intrude, so I hid behind the tree. Suddenly, Adrian picked up a rock and delivered a fatal blow to Lulo's head. Just then, Adrian saw me. He was so startled, he turned and ran. This is a lie. Don't know why, but it is. He obviously forgot about the cliff and fell to his death. What? When the lab checked the rock that supposedly killed Lulo, it found Adrian's fingerprints on it. The police immediately ordered the arrest of James G. Wait. What? I mean, based on this picture, there's no blood. He's also wearing gloves. That's why. Boom. That's why. If he's wearing gloves, how are there fingerprints on a rock? Easy. This one was too easy. Wearing mitts, so it'd be impossible to find fingerprints. Boom! Lawyered, bitch. Number 4. We've saved 2 people's lives today. Well, we haven't really. Well, we've saved countless lives, really, by stopping the murderers. They could have killed 1 million people. We've just saved 2 million people. We did let one go, who probably killed 10 million. I don't know, but whatever. Swings and roundabouts. Oh. Are they dead? Not at Christmas. A little person named John Ayres was found dead in his living room one morning. What? A little person. He was sitting on the couch holding a pistol in his right hand. There was a bullet hole right below his left breast. The bullet went through his body and through the couch and hit the wall right behind him. Why would he have shot himself there? At the scene, Detective Johnson talks to a senior officer about his impressions on the case. I have no doubt it was a suicide. His relatives alleged he had always been a depressed person. In addition to that, he was bankrupt and had $2 million in debt. The senior officer was surprised at his conclusions. Honestly, Detective, you really disappoint me. This man has been murdered. I knew that very moment I laid eyes on his dead body. Any experienced cop would see the same. I mean, his eyes are closed, to be fair. I'm not surprised he didn't see anything. Why would he have shot himself? Like, who would shoot him? When have you ever seen a movie go, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna do it right here! Right below the breast! After taking a second look at the dead man's body, the detective finally agreed with the senior officer that it was a homicide. What was so obvious at the scene that makes police believe? The fact that he's still holding the gun is very weird. The fact that he shot himself here is very weird. There's too much weirder. I'm gonna go with the fact that he's still holding the gun. Except for the bullet hole and the blood stain, the victim's shirt was spotless. It would have been impossible for this little person with short arms to shoot himself without leaving... This isn't a... What? It would have been impossible with short arms. You're telling me this is a short arm? It's longer than the Christmas tree. That's a dumb one. That don't count. That don't count. Number 5. We're not counting that one, okay? We're still 2 for 1. We're still bog off. Oh, animation. Okay. Jeez. Don't tell me the door's actually going to open. Yo, okay. Detective Singh arrived at a coastal house to find a man, Mr. Mr. Jones reporting that his wife was missing. Damn, this cold. That would have been pitch perfect otherwise. Mr. Jones recounted, the last time I saw her, she was having breakfast in the kitchen. I got home at 5 p.m. and I noticed that the breakfast was still on the table. So she probably left the house in the morning. Spooky. Detective Singh took Mr. Jones to the police station to give his statement. He didn't say anything, but he already knew that Mr. Jones was involved in his wife's disappearance. Let's go back to the scene of the crime. Now, what do we see here? Here, we see multiple cups. We see lots and lots of pots and pans. We see some orange juice. We see a hot coffee. A sundae? Was that a bagel? Who knows? Some butter? Some bread. It's bread. Bread, butter. There are 2 cups of coffee. But maybe he just had it. Who knows? Why is it such a mess? How would she have made breakfast? I'm going to go with the fact that there's 2 cups of coffee. The coffee was still hot. He knew he had set up the scene just a few minutes before. This is bullshit. How do you know that, though? How do you know that he's not just, like, nervous and made himself a cup of coffee? I mean, I'm taking that as, you know, I said the coffee's still hot. But how do you know that he hasn't just made a cup of coffee because he's stressed and he's like, oh, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee while I wait for the police? This is getting dumber, I swear. Oh, okay, we got a hot babe on the next one. Numero 6. Detective Singh, he's back. Gazed around the cluttered, dingy apartment. The aging famous columnist Max Worthington had been fatally stabbed. I said finally. His agent Roger had called the police when Max blah blah blah. Max's body was draped over his manual typewriter. It appeared to be the writer's column. The head rested on the keyboard. Random keys, followed by blah, blah, blah. Is this going to be a message? Well, how did it get right to the bottom? The detective was surprised to see that Max had used a typewriter rather than a computer. Roger, Max's agent, explained that Max found it therapeutic to pound the keys on his typewriter and despised computers. Out of a list of acquaintances provided by Max's agent, the detective questioned the following people. Marissa had been separated from Max for the last 1.5 years. Although initially the split had been amicable, lately things have gotten nasty about the latest division of assets. Max was willing to give Marissa the mansion and generous lump sum payment, but wanted to draw the line at excessive alimony being demanded by Marissa's lawyer. Jesus. She's kind of paying, no? Oh, Marissa was living in a mansion and had a generous pre-alimony settlement and an extremely attractive new boyfriend. Jillian. Jeez! Max! She's definitely a lookup. Okay, high maintenance. Devastatingly attractive. She had a Gucci bag, emerald and diamond jewelry. Suspected her grief was for the loss of her gravy train. Interesting. His brother. It's always the brother. Oh! He was dating Marissa. Max stole her. Held a grudge. He was glad his brother was dead and good riddance. Well, who do you think it is? Is it too obvious? After a brief investigation, arrest was made. Who did the detective arrest? I would definitely want to question his brother more, but for some reason I feel like it's Marissa. Or Marissa's lawyer? The brother is too obvious, but I would definitely take both into questioning. We'll lock in Marissa. It is Roger, the agent. Wait. What? The last line on the news column contained the phrase Roger stabbed me. Max had managed to type this message after being stabbed, but his fingers were positioned one line too high. Yo. That is ridiculous. I did think that there was something wrong with that because in a typewriter, he's gone from Max Worthington. You obviously have to like slide it, scroll it, slide it, whatever. You have to do all that. You don't just fall on it and it goes all the way down 4 lines. That's ridiculous. Yeah, fair play. That doesn't count because that is another detective that has fooled me. So obviously, I'm a new detective. This is a previous detective. They're going to be smarter than me in the detective world. You get me? But there was no girl in a swimsuit. What is this? This thumbnail is clickbait. We're on number 7. Oh, hey, cheeky little maid. Detective Wesley carefully examined the scene before him. He was in a hotel room about 3 miles from the victim's home. The victim's body lay in front of him peacefully on the bed. It was January 7th, 3:15 p.m. The body was discovered by a hotel maid. The man's name was Sean Donovan. He was in his late 20s, a successful business owner, a Sunday school teacher, and was soon to be married. The detective shook his head in disgust. We whispered, why would anyone commit suicide when they had everything going for them? He didn't. Don't tell me that's it. Oh my god. Yo, these are a lot of reading, you know. He only trusted 3 people. His sister, Hannah, who was very close with the victim, who often assisted him while he taught at the local church. His brother, John, who owned a smaller, semi-successful business, and his fiancée, Jenna. The apparent cause of death was injection of poison. Detective, okay. A suicide note. Jenna, sis, John. I'd like to tell you how sorry I am. Blame God for why I am to die today. Blame him. Seek him if you want to know why I did leave you. Do not mourn my death. Please move on. Interesting. Very interesting. Almost impersonal. Why would a Sunday school teacher blame God? The poison killed him instantly. There's a lot of information to take in here. Oh, okay. Well, that goes out. There goes my guess here. The date and time used on the note were false. All 3 of those mentioned in the letter agreed that the handwriting was Sean's. The detective realized that the identity of the murderer was given inside. Oh, I just need to read this. Blame him, seek him, please move on. I am very confused. This one has got me, you know. So in my head, I'm like, it's either... He keeps saying him, which I know he's talking about God, but I feel like he might be talking about John, because he's the only guy. But the fact that he's talked about God, it might be Hannah. I'm trying to think if there's something to do with, like, the capital letters or something, like JSJ. I don't know. Oh, this is annoying me. I want to know. You know what? I'm gonna go with the sister. The obvious one is the brother, because it's a smaller, semi-successful business. Didn't refer to the time, but rather the biblical passage. Oh my god, which is an excerpt from the story Cain and Abel. Oh, in the suicide note, Sean, being a Sunday school teacher, hinted search for God to determine who killed him with seek him if you want to know why I did leave you, which refers to the Bible. He intentionally did not mention the name of his sister Hannah when he noted Jenna Sis, which sounds like Genesis. So it's his brother. Oh my god, that is so deep. That is mad. Literally, Genesis 4:10. That is insane. Yo, if any of you watching this managed to figure that, ridiculous. All right, I got to think more out the box. I hope this isn't a lot of reading again. Oh my god. I'm going to read it in my head. Okay, so Carrie Marshall, Stephen Andrews, a wealthy bachelor, Oceanside Mansion, was murdered. Time of the murder, there were 5 other people in the house. The cook, the maid, 2 friends, and his niece. Cook and maid had rooms in the mansion. 3 guests had all stayed overnight. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, the lieutenant was there an hour earlier, sketched out for details. All the suspects had agreed. He'd been found murdered in the morning before 6:30. Okay. So he was alive just after midnight. They all went to bed. Mandy Andrews, the niece, had come down to the kitchen. And on her way up, past the bay window where she saw her uncle's dead body. Interrogating the suspects, they all gave these testimonies. Seriously? Shortly past 11 last night after cleaning the dining room, I was reading a novel until about 12:20. I heard the occasional laughter, blah, blah, blah. The lieutenant moved his body about 15 minutes before you arrived. His blood on the side of the head. Okay, so the cook went upstairs at the same time. Fell asleep after I took a shower and brushed my teeth. Good hygiene. That was about 11:30. 11:30? But the maid, shortly past 11. That's a very quick shower, my friend. Slept soundly until this morning when a scream woke me. What about you? You were up until midnight. You fell asleep around 1:15 but woke up at 6. You were thirsty. Went down to the kitchen to get a glass of water. Those were there in 1 or 2 minutes. Damn, they reactive. Carrie said abruptly, "That's enough," before the two friends of Mr. Andrews could say anything. "I know who did it, Lieutenant. We have our murderer. All 5 other suspects, blah, 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 came to the room." Cool. Who murdered? This is hard. I went down to the kitchen. I passed by the bay window. Interesting indeed. Through the window. I feel like it's something to do with the sunset, you know. It's gonna be something to do with the fact that she's seeing the sunset. This is, if I've cracked this, I think it's Mandy. Because Carrie could see the beautiful sunset. The sun must have set that side. The sun rises at like 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. or something like that. It would have rose the other side of the house. If that's right, I'm literally signing out. I'm signing out right away. If it's Mandy because of the sunset and the sunrise, I am a goat. Mandy, it was afternoon when Carrie lit out the window and saw the sunset, so the window must have been facing the west. However, Mandy claims to see the sunrise the same window as the sunrise. Carrie lit out the sunset. Yes! Nailed it! Jeez! Alright. You know what? We'll do one final one just because it's a short one. I should be a detective. You see that? Sunrise setting in the west. The sun may rise in the east, but at least it's settled in a final location talking about the west. Thank you, Red Hot Chili Peppers, for that. It was a dark and stormy night in Erisville. Jagged bolts of lightning. Okay. Detective Callahan. Okay, yep. Foggy. That's what you need to remember. His yard vanished. Replace an eerie, foggy void. Maybe 5 degrees. Too cold for anything but tea in a book. His mind was elsewhere. He poured the tea. Okay, he jumped, spilling boiling water on his hand, but he hardly noticed. His thoughts were centered on a scream. Just a loon, he laughed, went back to his chair. It was Murphy. "Callahan, we have an apparent homicide at 127 Apple, blah, blah, blah." Sure, did we just DOS Callahan? We just doxed him. Officers Gold and Apfel are on the scene now. Oh, Callahan only had to drive around the block to get the stately home. Omar tasty snacks fortune. Oh, this is a lot. Murder weapon, large butcher knife. Okay, woman in a white nightgown, man in pajamas. What happened? In a voice? "I'm Tessa. I live in the guest house on the drive and my front window faces this bay window." I swear, if this is just to do with the sunset again. Okay, so the maid is basically saying that Mr. Omar and Miss Omar were having a fight. Mr. Omar killed her and then he attacked the maid. Holy cow. What the? No, you know what? I don't care. You know what? She's dead. What was the question here? Hint, Tessa spied every night, but she couldn't have on this night. Callahan thought, take Tessa into custody. She's obviously lying. It was too foggy. Would not have been able to see anything. That was so dumb, man. I was so gassed by my sunset one. This is dumb. I think it's safe to say I could easily be a detective. And if any police force are watching this video for some weird reason and you would like me to become a detective to help save your town, let me know by tweeting me. Sure. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed and let me know what other videos you want to see. Peace!